You are Locked On Heat Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, Miami and Heat fans? Welcome to your Heat Postcast. My name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, and I can't believe there's even one of you here. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of our team here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day, making us your first watch or listen. We're free on YouTube. We're free on Roku, and we are free wherever you get your podcast. Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, Apple, iHeart, you name it, we're free there, and we better be free today. I mean, the Heat should give refunds to everybody who showed up the last couple of games for this series. This is ridiculous. Time to talk about the future for the Miami Heat. But first, your Heat Postcast. I'm Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, and just pumped to be here as always, even though just a terrible end to a season that, if there's any doubt about what this team needs or needed to do in the future, it's gone now. And we'll see if Pat Riley has one more trick up his sleeve. Maybe it might be the last one. Who knows? We'll see. But, hey, while you're here, just want to remind you, thank you so much. Smash that subscribe. Hit the bell so you get alerts when we're coming your way with more content. And come on into the comments. Say what's up to your boy. Last chance this season, as it is all over. Two of the worst losses in Miami Heat history. The two worst playoff losses in Miami Heat history. And you are swept. You are run off your home floor. You are decimated. You are destroyed. You are humiliated 2 games in a row on your home floor, facing elimination when you actually played pretty well in those games on the road in Cleveland, giving people hope. But, man, the Cavs leaving no doubt. Donovan Mitchell leading the parade of double-figure scores with 22. DeAndre Hunter, 19. 138-83, the final. The Cavs beat the Heat. We got a lot to unpack in a short time to unpack it, and it's your Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. I'm Grease. A lot to get to in a short time to do it in. Let's go.
This is what you'll be talking about.
We are talking about right here, and this is the final. Look at that, 138-83. No, you're not reading that wrong. No, you're not seeing that wrong. Yeah, 83 and 17 is 100, and then you add 17 to 38. It's a 55-point loss for Miami. Their previous worst home loss was 124-87 in Game 3. In Game 3, and then 2 days later, what do? They come back, and they get worked even worse. This one was just absolutely ridiculous. It was over before the start. They won the 4 games by a combined 122 points. The previous record, 121. Denver and New Orleans in 2009. The 55-point margin today in Game 4, the 4th largest playoff win ever. The 4th largest playoff win ever. And real quick, I got to do something I should have done in the beginning and let you know that tonight's episode of Heat Postcast is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. And I'll tell you this, turn any TV into your Xbox, no console needed. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to learn more. That's it with your title sponsorship. And real quick, I already said first listen, first watch. Thank you, Locked On Heat Podcast. Oh, these guys are going to have some things to say about this series and this game in particular. But man, oh man, the offseason starts now. And Miami Heat are on the clock. Not really. You know what I'm saying? Like, not in a draft sense. But, yeah, it is what it is, man. This is a tough game. Tough loss. I mean, Nikola Jovic had 24 points to leave the Heat. Bam had 13. Andrew Wiggins, 12. Tyler Hero, nowhere to be found in this game. This is the 3rd time Miami's been swept in a best-of-7 series. Chicago in 07. Milwaukee in 21. You know, both in the first round. Both happening on their home floor. It was over fast, a 33-5 early run by Cleveland. They started 9-zip. You know what I mean? It just was a bloodbath from the very second. And when you think about giving up, what's 124 and 138, right? 38 and 24 is 62. So we're looking at 262 points. And the Heat scored 87 and 83. 180. No, I'm sorry. 170. 170. So you got smoked. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. 262 to 170. That's incredible when you think about it. I mean, 72 to 33 at the half. Third largest lead after 2 quarters in NBA playoff history. Cleveland by 41 over Boston in 2017. Detroit by 40 over Washington in 1987. And it wasn't even that close. I mean, just watching this game, it just drove you nuts. You couldn't even – what are you supposed to do when your team is this bad? I mean, they are that bad on their home floor. The way that they ended the season, look, this is their worst season record-wise, percentage-wise since 2015. They got swept out of the playoffs. Can't believe they even made it. This is the 3rd year in a row in the play-in, whatever. And, you just start to scratch your head and wonder, is it time to blow this thing up? Jimmy's gone. You did the best you could getting back those guys for him, Anderson and Mitchell, and, of course, Wiggins, who was a big disappointment, I think, down the stretch, right? 43 to 17 after the first quarter, a 39-9 run for the Cavs. Opened it with a 9-0 run. Just unbelievable, man. Just unbelievable. And balanced scoring. And Tyler Hero, by the way, 1 for 6 to start the game. And I'll get more on Tyler in a minute. Just not a good night for him. He couldn't shoot anything tonight. That was the big problem from the beginning of the game. It was just awful. They were 2 for 19 from the three-point line at one point in the second quarter. And then when you're looking at halftime, oh, man, the Heat were they were owned. They were owned in this game. And Tyler Hero was 1 for 8 and 1 for 7 from 3. At the half, the Heat were 4 for 25, while the Cavs were 11 for 24. Cleveland, 52% shooting. Miami, 13 of 43. 30% shooting for the Miami Heat. And then when you look at it, end of the game, it's no better. I mean, it really is no better. Why don't we just take a peek at it? Because this is what it is with the box score. Cleveland had, as usual, what did they play? They emptied the bench late, and even some of their bench guys got double figures. But Ty Jerome had 18. DeAndre Hunter had 19. Again, no Darius Garland for the second straight game. Donovan Mitchell, 22. 17 for Mobley, and 14 points, 12 rebounds for Jarrett Allen. And that's just, balance epitomized. At one point, the Cavs had only played 8 players until they emptied their bench. And for Miami, they ended up emptying their bench. Jovic had a big game, 24 points. Larsson had 12 in the loss, 13 points and 12 rebounds for Bam. 12 points for Andrew Wiggins on 5 of 12 shooting. And Tyler Hero, 1 for 10 from the field, 1 for 9 from 3. So there you have it, just a bloodbath. And, honestly, it wasn't even that close. When you're looking at the team stats, 36% shooting for Miami, 54.7 for Cleveland. Three-point line, 10 of 49 for the Heat, 20%. 22 of 47, 46%, almost 47% for the Cavs. Free throws, 22 of 25 Cleveland, 9 of 15 Miami. I could keep going. Rebounds, 51-45 Cavs. Assists, 26-17 Cavs. Steals, 15-4 Cavs. Blocks, 6-2 Cavs. Turnovers, 19 Miami, 12 Cleveland. Fast break points, 18-12 for the Cavs. Points in the paint, 46-40 Cleveland. And Miami, 18 fouls to 12 for the Cavs. Largest lead of the game, 1 point for Miami. Largest lead of the game, 1 point for Miami. Largest lead of the game for the Cavs, 60 freaking points. Now, I've been reminded as I've been watching this series of some of the other bad losses in Miami Heat history, and there's one that comes to mind. The 07 team, after winning it in 06, got smoked and swept out of the playoffs by Chicago. No fight in them at all, and that was the beginning of the blowing up of that team, and really, starting to think about the Heatles, because after that, Wade and Bosh and LeBron played in the Olympics leading up to it in 07 and then in 08. So, 2010, here come the Heatles, right? But interestingly enough, the memory that popped in my head first was opening night of the season after they won the title. And I want to say it was the Bulls again. I want to say it was the Bulls. It might have been the Celtics. I really think it was the Bulls. Opening night of the 06-07 season. My son Jake was 5 at the time. Everything in his entire life was Shaq D. Wade, Shaq D. Wade, Shaq D. Wade, Shaq D. Wade. Made his first shot in the backyard with a D. Wade jersey on, still wearing Wade jerseys to this day. Wade County, shout out Flash. You know what I'm saying? And he should have kept the Flash nickname. Man, that Shaq gave him some gold there, and he didn't keep it on the marketing side. But I digress. When I think about Wade County, he's got plenty of marketing on his side. But that game was the night they got their rings. And that game, I took my son Jake to his first NBA game. And that game, they got smoked off the floor, but I never saw the game because as soon as they had the pyro and the pregame introductions and all the noise and everything, my 5-year-old son freaked out, wouldn't stay at the game, cried for hours, and I had to leave. True story. True story. Aren't you glad you know? Anyway, 138-83. What else are we going to talk about? This season's over, guys. Back-to-back, the worst playoff losses in Heat history. Back-to-back in the worst ways possible. The Cavs are so good, though, and they weren't missing tonight from three. Their depth is amazing. They have so much depth on the wing. They have tremendous depth inside. Allen and Mobley and those guys, and you got Jerome off the bench and Hunter off the bench, and they don't really lose a lot when they bring their bench in, just like OKC. All year long, I've been trying to deflect. All year long, I've been trying to say, no, it's not going to be OKC in Cleveland. No. Man, it'd be great to see anyone but Kevin Durant, James Harden. I like Westbrook. Anyone but Durant or Harden win a ring anywhere. But in OKC, that'd be dope because they had those three. They made the finals. But let's see who stopped those three with Westbrook from winning a title in OKC. Oh, yeah, that would be the aforementioned Heatles. You know what I'm saying? Jim Greasehopper, call me Grease, 138-83. I am not making that up. It's a 187 on the Miami Heat season. It's a 187 on this version of the Miami Heat. If they're smart, we'll pick up on that on the other side. Plus, we're going to have your star of the game. Plus, we're going to have your turning point, your final score graphic, and, yeah, a look ahead to next year because they have got to do something. They got to do something. Jim Greasehopper, call me Grease, Heat POSTCAST and the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And today is not a good one, Miami. Today is not a good one. We will give you a couple of tremendous offers from two of our amazing sponsors. And obviously, you guys know a big part of this network, 220 plus shows. It's an aggregate. Every team has one. The cities have them. The leagues have them. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Locked On NBA Game Night. They're doing the playoff edition. More on that later. But tremendous deals from some of the best companies in sports, some of the best sponsors out there. You get because you're here. Jim Greasehopper, call me Grease. Let's do that now. 138-83. Don't forget we're free on YouTube, free on Roku, free wherever you get your podcasts. This is your Heat POSTCAST on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your Heat every day, including today. And while I think of it, real quick before I hit the break, shout out to Kevin Love. What a champion for mental illness. What a champion in every sense of the word. And he lost his father. Who was also one of the brothers, a brother of one of the Beach Boys, Mike Love or whatever. So Kevin Love, shout out to Kevin Love and our condolences to K Love. All right, Jim Greasehopper, call me Grease. It's break time. And oh, baby, do I love Prize Picks. The basketball and hockey playoffs are here. Big one for the Cats. You know what I'm saying? And there's no better time to turn your sports knowledge into real cash with Prize Picks. And Prize Picks is the top destination for daily fantasy action. Why? Prize Picks makes it simple. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, and you're in. You can even mix and match players across basketball, hockey, baseball, and more for a shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash. You see the 10X? No, that's 2,000X right there. For example, you know what I'm saying? Here's what I'm playing this week on Prize Picks. Nikola Jokic, not Jovic, for more than 25 points. Could have hit that with Jovic today. And Jaylen Brown for more than 4 assists. Slam dunks, right? We'll see. Turn your playoff hot takes into tickets to basketball's championship series. Every lineup you make on Prize Picks will enter you in the Takes 2 ticket sweepstakes, right? Which could get you in a +1, a VIP trip to the ship. You know what I'm saying? Hockey, I'm eyeing Connor McDavid for more than 1 goal and Austin Matthews for more than 5 shots on goal. The app makes it easy. You can build a lineup in under 60 seconds. And with Taco Tuesday discounts and Flex Friday promos, there's even more value each week. When you win, you get paid fast, sometimes in as little as 15 minutes. So download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup on Prize Picks. Run your game. On the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And also get a chance to tell you about FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are here. Time to update the copy sales team. And FanDuel giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action, meaning this said the playoffs are almost here, and they're here. They've been here for a while. Don't remind the Heat fans, right? Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get 250 bonus bets if your bet wins. That means $250 in bonus bets with your first $5 bet. If your bet wins, you got to win, right? You want to win, you got to be a winner. There's no doubt about it. I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking my favorite team or diving into player props headfirst. Only way to do it. From three-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. Now, who doesn't want to do that? Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today with FanDuel on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. It's Grease back with you, Gries, at @JimGrease_ on social media. Give me a follow, make you holla. Come on into the chat, say what's up to your boy. And, of course, while you're here, hit that bell so you get alerts when we come your way with more content. Myself and the boys from Locked On Heat Podcast. Sign up for the Locked On Heat daily newsletter at lockedondaily.com. It's every day. It's Heat. It's NBA news. It's your fix every morning. And you got the podcast. You got the newsletter. And then after the games, you have the postcast. And we'll be back next year with that. But, you know, it really is pretty amazing when you think about what we've done here with the Locked On Podcast Network, all the teams having shows, the cities, the leagues. It's dope. It's actually really freaking dope. All right, we're running out of time, and we don't have much time to get to what we still need to get to, so let's do it.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
All right, what's the turning point in this 187 of a game? They got smashed. I would smash you. 124-87 and 138-83. Back-to-back, their worst losses in playoff history on their home floor to get swept and eliminated. Yeah. So, what was the moment, you ask? I don't know. Was it when the buses pulled up? No. It was a 9-0 run to start the game. It was a 43-17 lead after one. It was a 39-point lead at halftime, and it ended up being a 55-point drubbing. They increased the lead every quarter. They came at you in waves. It's like they didn't miss. And insult to injury, I know, with Strus up there, but that's a cold, hard reminder of the Heat when they went to the finals from the play-in. Remember those days? And then last year with the Butler injury, they beat Philly, but then got smoked by Boston in the first round. Even worse this year. And I have to say it, and I hate to say it, because Spo is my guy forever. He might not even remember me. He might say he does, but I doubt it. But, man, just watching him in that film room all those years ago. I was an intern on Sunday Night Sports Wrap, 94 through 97 in the MIA. Yo, steady slanging. Hey, yo. Nah, ain't going there, Rose. But what I'm going to say is I was in a studio in Miami Lakes every Sunday night for a bunch of years with the Mad Dog Jim Mandich and Jeff DeForest, Defo, two of my greatest mentors, friends, whatever you might say, in the business. And we'd get Shula up there. We'd get Marino up there. Riley came up to do the show. Alonzo Mourning, Ray Lewis, when he first got drafted, you name it. We'd always get the best guests. And my job was to pick the guests up. But it was also to go get the film from Any guesses? Eric Spoelstra, who was the video room guy for the Miami Heat. And he cut his teeth watching film. And step by step by step, he climbed up. But I'm going to say this about Spo. As great as he is as a coach, he is. When the Heatles came and everybody's going, oh, my God, no, do what you did to Van Gundy. Come back, Riley, come back. And Riley said, no, this is a coaching star. And Van Gundy was, too, to his defense. And back then it was more like, I believe, Shaq and all those guys, but who knows what happened back then? The stories have been released, and who really cares? But my point is, this thing, the Heat culture, I've been there from day one. I was at Pat Riley's first game as coach of the Miami Heat. I was at Pat Riley's first playoff series as coach of the Miami Heat. The Bulls, when they were an 8 seed, I was there for all this. I've seen it grow from the beginning, this Heat culture. I was literally there in the press room when they traded for Alonzo Mourning, or when they got Alonzo Mourning and Tim Hardaway. I think Zoe was, I can't remember. Zoe was a free agent, but whatever it was. But Hardaway, I believe, was a trade with Chris Gatling came over too, if you remember that, with Golden State. But, when I think about the history of this Heat team, I was on the steps of the arena when Shaq came in. I was there the day they drafted Dwayne Wade, and they're interviewing him his first day of camp. I've been there for all of it. And you know what? As much as I love Heat culture, it starts at the top with Pat Riley. They've had some bad blowout losses. It's never been this bad. It's never been going from 37 to 55 in 2 days. It's never been, and I want to say it. I want to say it, but I can't because it's tough for me to know for sure. But it looked like this team came out completely ill-prepared to play these last couple of games. After playing so well, I think, in Cleveland, when they were down 19, they fought back so hard, so tough. Tyler had a huge game, but Tyler did not show up these last 2 games, which makes you wonder about him as a 1 option. Tyler as a 2, yeah. Bam as a 3, yeah. Wiggins ain't no 1, bro, sis, you, they, them, he, she, whoever anybody is in the world, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what race we are, what color we are. It doesn't matter any of that. It matters that all of us have eyes. This team's done. Tyler as a 1 option, no shot. No shot. Bam as a 2, no shot. He's proven that over and over again. He's had some runs with the offense. Tyler's had some big games. I do believe that that's a product of the roster. It's kind of like that Bradley Beal in Washington thing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Tyler Hero is not a number 1 option on this team or on any team. Period, point blank, end of story. Washington, Charlotte, maybe. Look at those guys on those teams, the guns in the league, right? The Jordan Pooles, the Ball, whichever Ball it is, LiAngelo Ball, Jello. No, Jello's the rapper. LaMelo Ball. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Lonzo. Feel bad for him with the injury. But, all right, we got a couple more things to do and a short time to do it. But this is back-to-back the worst losses in franchise history in the playoffs. Back-to-back your worst loss in playoff history, followed by your worst loss in playoff history, making the previous game your second worst loss in playoff history. 37 and 55 is what? 92. Shout out to that University of Miami degree. 37 and 55 is 92. Right? 92 is the year Hurricane Andrew ripped through the campus at the University of Miami. 1992, that championship year where they lost to Alabama with Geno T and the boys. Lamar Thomas, what do you know about those Canes with Armstead, with Barrow, with Darren Smith? Yeah, I know. You know what I'm saying? I was there. I got that degree. But you know what I mean? This is as bad as it's ever been for the Miami Heat. This is embarrassing. It's on your home floor. Pat Riley's sitting right there. They have to do something. What are they going to do? Who knows? But I know what we're going to do. Time to give you this.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Not him. It's not Eric Spoelstra. Just had to show you the score one more time. Sweep for the Cavs. And when we look at the stars of the game, there are 2 Cavs and 1 Heater. It could have been the whole Cavs team. But how about the best player on the floor in this series? How about a guy who's one of 6 players all time? He's on that list of the most points scored in his first 7 playoff series on different teams with LeBron James and a whole bunch of other guys like that, like Shaq. And that is Donovan Mitchell. Had a huge series, 17 points in the 4th quarter of Game 2 when Miami they had cut the lead to 105, 103 with a little over 3 minutes left on the road. Crowd stunned in silence. Mitchell wakes up. He had 11 points to that time. Credit Davion Mitchell for great defense on him throughout the series, not Tyler Hero, who just got shoved out of the way by Donovan Mitchell. But Donovan Mitchell, along with Dame Lillard, but Lillard's out, and that's kind of scary for them, and they're done anyway. But when you look at Donovan Mitchell and Dame Lillard, all those years in the small markets, Dame's still in Milwaukee, Mitchell's still in a small market in Cleveland, but man, people are watching him now, and they're a number 1 seed, and people are finally realizing this dude's as elite gets in the league for a 2-guard. Who are you going to take over him right now as a wing player in this league? How many guys would you take? Ann Edwards for the ceiling? Yeah. How many guys would you take right now over him at that position? Steph Curry, point guard, not really a point guard. Who else would you take over him at the 2-guard spot right now? Who else would you take? Devin Booker? Yeah, I'd put Booker over Mitchell for sure. Who else? I don't know. That's a short list, and it's about time this dude gets his respect. The Cavs might be the best Cavs team of all time, and that's saying a lot with all those LeBron and Kyrie and Kevin Love teams. Shout out to K-Love again. Condolences on Pops passing away. All right, there you go with the star of the series. The second star of the game is Jarrett Allen. Double-double, I believe 14 and 12. Just really underrated and such a great player. They do so many things through him. A great box-out guy, a rebounder, a screener, tremendous screener. Awesome on defense, just a great job. And how about Nikola? We didn't get to say this for a long time, baby, but this dude's ceiling is high. And Jaquez, why doesn't Spo play Jaquez more? I think he's going to be a real good scorer. I do believe Jaquez will be included in a trade. I know they like Kyle Anderson long-term as a bench player. I know he loves Pelle. Larsson. Terry Rozier, probably done here. I would say. And I listen to and watch Locked On Heat podcast and get the newsletter every day at lockedondaily.com and the Heat podcast, wherever you get your podcast, YouTube and Roku, just like us here. Shout out to those guys. But Jovic with 24 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and Nikola, is he 21 yet? Yeah, he is 21. 2022 first round pick. Look at him coming into form at 6'10", 205, can do it all, man. This kid's going to be really good. He's going to be really good in a short amount of time. So I love the fact that he came back and balled out the way that he did. I love the fact that you've been here all year, game in, game out. Terrible, terrible season for Miami, pretty much all the way across the board. 37-45, worst year since 2015, percentage-wise, and they suffer back-to-back. They're not suffering. We are. Their last 2 games have been the back-to-back, the worst losses in playoff history for the Miami Heat. And the 55-point loss, I do believe I have everything here. I have 1,000 pictures I took. Every show I do this, and I never end up getting all of them. But it's kind of ingrained in the dome. You know what I'm saying? They cut off the hair. They didn't take the brain with it. But Jarrett Allen, by the way, when I mentioned Jarrett Allen with the 14 and 12, he also had 6 steals. Right? That matches Kevin Love's record for the Cavs from June of 2017. Ty Jerome, 18 off the bench. Mitchell, 22. Miami shot 36%. 32 for 89, 10 for 49, 20% from 3-point range. But Miami smoked in these 2 games by 55 and 37. 92 points they were beaten by the Miami Heat over these last 2 games. So thank you for being here all year long. It's back to, look to the drawing board. They have to blow something up here. They got to probably trade Wiggins in a deal. And who else would they include? I don't think anybody's safe. For the right package, I'd include, they've tried to trade Hero multiple times. I'd do a package with Wiggins and Hero and maybe Jaquez, a young scorer. You know what I mean? Somebody like that. And I would try my damnedest. Let me see his contract status real quick before I go spouting off at the mouth, but I really do believe that it's time for a massive overhaul in Miami. Of the guys I would keep, obviously Tyler is not untouchable. The only guy on this roster who I think is untouchable is Bam, and I would think Jovic. I would not trade Jovic, but I would trade anybody else. I would trade Tyler. I would trade Jaquez in there. I would not trade Jovic or Bam, but I would trade Tyler. I would trade Jaquez in there. I would include Duncan Robinson, Terry Rozier. You're not going to get a ton for these guys, but I'd say Wiggins, but I'd say Pelle and Nikola Jovic and Bam Adebayo, depending upon what you could get back. I definitely would never trade Bam. Now depending on what you get back, but I would trade Tyler in a heartbeat, man. I would trade Tyler in a heartbeat. I hate to say it. Let me look at Duncan Robinson's contract here. Duncan Robinson, I know he's making $19 million or something crazy like that. Duncan Robinson contract, 5-year, $90 million. Yeah. Okay, so 5-year, $90 million. Let's see. $80 million of it's guaranteed. $18 million average annual salary. Let's see. He's a free agent in 2026 at the end of the year. So an expiring contract, huge expiring contract. Andrew Wiggins in that deal. Tyler Hero maybe in that deal. Could you get a star for that? Could you get a superstar for Hero and Wiggins and Duncan Robinson? Some package like that with a Jaquez, another one of the young players. Could you? Who could you get back? I love this audience continuing to spike, but unfortunately, I need to go save the rest for the Locked On Heat podcast. They're here every day for the most part, as well. It'll slow up a little bit in the off season, but they do a fantastic job, and it has been my honor, and I'll get to more on this in a minute, to be here every day and every night with you throughout the season with your Heat Postcast. But first, I want to thank you for making Locked On Heat Postcast your first listen today, and for your second listen, third if you count the Locked On Heat podcast, check out Locked On NBA Game Night. Every game, every night until an NBA champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find NBA Game Night on Locked On NBA on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. I am Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, Gries, at Jim Grease _ University of Miami grad. Intern on Sunday Night Sports Wrap with Zagacki and Mandich and Defo for all those years. I worked at 790 The Ticket. I worked at WQAM. I've been everywhere. I've done shows and produced them on NBC and CBS and ABC in Miami over the years, and I am very happy and comfortable to be your voice of your Miami teams on the postcasts. Unfortunately, the Marlins aren't here this year, but we have the Canes, and we have some Canes over here. We have the Canes, and we have the Dolphins coming up in football season. A Dolphins roundtable show that I'll be hosting that will start soon, and we can't wait for that. Until then, or until next time, mi amigos, my name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. Thanking you profusely for being here and reminding you that we are here for you every day on the Locked On Podcast Network. We are free on YouTube. We are free on Roku. You're down with OTT? Yeah, you know me. This whole party used to be OPP. Now it's OTT, over the top television. Also free wherever you get your podcast. That would be Spotify. That would be iHeart. That would be Apple, and many, 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 many more. All right. So until next year, my friends, keep on listening and watching your Locked On Heat podcast, and keep on checking out the newsletter at lockedondaily.com. But until next year, Heat fan, keep your game tight and your mind right. What a drubbing Miami took. Unbelievable what they've done. 138-83. The Cavs beat them, sweep the series on the heels of a 124-87. It's 187 on a basketball season. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And one more thing. Thank you to our title sponsor, the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. All right, that's going to do it. Keep your game tight and your mind right, Miami. Thank you for watching Heat Postcast all season long. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, at Jim Grease _ social media. Reminding you to always keep your game tight and your mind right, baby.